Shalom, shalom, everybody. I'm back again, or you're back again with your brew. That's me, Ban Shemayim. That's me. Today's videos, I did a video where this lady was speaking before. Her name is Jane Elliott. So today we're going to go a little bit deeper. And this was inspired by a person I talked to on the phone the other day. And then we're going to go through a scripture. Without further ado, let's get it. We're going to start about 2 minutes and 59 seconds into the video. And this is from I'm a Boss TV. Let's get it.
The color of their eyes. Now, in order to get them in into their adult ego state, we're going to try to teach them the listening skills. Now, what do we call men that we want to keep in their childlike state? Boy. We're going to call these males boy. You're not going to use their given name. You're going to call them boy. Or you're going to call them bluey. Or you're going to call them fool. Now, people, what do we call women besides chicks? Honey, baby, gal, doll face, doll, dumpling. We are going to give them no respect. How many of you have friends in that group? Let me put it this way. How many of you used to have friends in that group? Because some of these people are going to leave here very angry. White people's number one freedom in the United States of America is the freedom to be totally ignorant about those who are other than white. We don't have to learn about those who are other than white. And our number two freedom is the freedom to deny that we're ignorant. Today, we're going to take away these people's freedom to be ignorant. I want you to understand how the system works. And believe me, this is how the system works. We make laws to support white superiority and to reinforce white superiority. And when you catch on to how it works, then we change the laws. I didn't invent this exercise. I learned this from Adolf Hitler. One of the ways they decided who went into the gas chamber was eye color.
She said, I didn't invent this exercise. I learned it from Adolf Hitler. Whoa.
This exercise is not without precedent.
Go, people. Okay, let's go.
Now look at this. Watch him. Look at him. Should we just sit anywhere? Should we just sit anywhere? If you came into a room in which the chairs were arranged in this way, and the brown-eyed people were sitting in these chairs in this way, and nobody was sitting in the chairs in the middle, where would you sit? In the middle. That would make sense to me. Would it make sense to you? Where are you going? Get in the blue-eyed section. The blue-eyed section is in the middle of the room.
Blue-eyed section.
You're a non-brown? As far as I'm concerned, you're a bluey. Now, is this one giggling? What do you know about him? It's because he's ignorant? What else do you know about him? He's in his little child's ego state, isn't he? Get up here and sit down on the floor. You too, get up here and sit down on the floor.
Look, they just like, man, this lady got us doing this stupid stuff. Let's keep going.
I was really tired when I entered the room, but I didn't have any expectations. I was just sitting there and wondering how it could be an emotional experience.
On the day these white kids are in this exercise, they see themselves as other people see them for the first time in their lives. What are you going to do?
Sit here until you tell me to do something.
You see what he's doing?
I'm a girl.
See what she's doing?
It didn't take very long before intimidation set in and before my buttons were pushed.
Now, while I've been talking, some of you have been sitting there reading the signs. I'm not going to put up with that any longer. So you in the back row, stand up and read the first sign on that wall back there.
Only brown eyes need apply?
Read it so we can hear you.
Only brown eyes need apply.
Next.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Read it again. Get it right this time.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Read it again. Get it right this time. Pronounce each one of those words correctly as they're written.
Why can't a blue eye be more like a brown?
Next.
I'm not prejudiced. Some of my best friends are blue-eyed.
How many of you have ever heard that one before in another form? Oh, yes. Favorite.
He said, I'm not prejudiced. She made him say, I'm not prejudiced. Just I'm not prejudiced because some of my friends have blue eyes.
Claim of liberals, right? I'm not prejudiced. Some of my best friends are black. Has any person ever said to you, any good liberal person ever said to you, when I see you, I don't see you black?
Every day.
Every damn day. How many of you have had that experience? When I see you, I don't see you black. And what do you say to them when they say that?
But I am.
But I am. And then what do they say?
They say, but I don't see color.
I don't see color. How many of you think they do see color? Well, people, if they didn't see color, they wouldn't say, when I see you, I don't see you black, because they wouldn't see black, would they?
You can't say, I don't see color, because then you'd be seeing it in black and white. And that would be a really weird world to see. If everything was black and white, we would be some really messed up people.
It happens to me on a daily basis in the institution I'm at, and there's really no way around it, because whether people do it intentionally or not.
Do you know the physical aspects of the listening skills? You're afraid not? What about you?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. What about you?
A bit.
A bit?
Yes.
A bit?
Yes.
Well, tell me what the bit is that you know.
The bit that I know is that you stand up straight, you look at the person who's speaking, and you pay attention to what they're saying.
What if you're sitting down?
I am sitting down.
Then you can't listen, right?
No, you can listen by sitting down.
Oh, you just said you stand up straight?
I said you sit up straight.
Did she say you sit up straight, or did she say you stand up straight? Is this a universal problem with blue-eyed people? You have a paper and pencil with you?
No.
Do you?
Over in my bag, maybe.
Over in your bag?
Yes.
Why is it in your bag?
Because that's where I keep it.
That's where you keep it.
When I'm
Why
not
did you put
using
your
it.
paper and pencil over there?
Because I did not know when I was going to be needing it.
You came to a learning experience, right?
Yes.
Did you ever go to a learning experience before?
Yes.
Did you ever take notes?
Yes.
What did you use?
I used a paper and pencil.
Paper and pencil. And did you keep it with you so that you could take notes?
Yes.
Yes. Why didn't you do that this time?
Because I was not planning on taking notes.
You weren't planning on taking notes? You
No.
think you can remember everything that's going to be done in here and said in here?
Not word for word.
Not word for word, so what should you have done?
I
Probably, she's going to say, I probably should have done it right. What should you have done?
should have brought my paper and pencil over here and kept it with me
That's
the entire
right.
time.
That's right. You're acting angry.
I am angry.
What are you angry about?
I'm angry that you're yelling at me.
Do you hear me yelling? This is yelling! Have I done that yet?
Okay, you're using a stern voice and
Are
it's making me angry.
are you defining me?
No, I am not defining
Is she
you.
defining me? Does she say I'm yelling when I'm not? Perception is everything. Do you feel like I'm yelling at you?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Hey, she all on her head button.
Because you're using a stern voice.
Stern, honey, it isn't my fault you're stupid.
Would you like me
Now,
to go
do-
get my paper and pencil?
I wouldn't like you in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, then that's fine.
Let's get that understood here.
Okay.
This isn't a matter of whether I like you or not. Repeat after me. One hen.
One hand.
One hen, two, not hand, hen. 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 Lays eggs. One hen.
One hen.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four limerick oysters.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Hemerick oysters.
Hemerick oysters?
I'm sorry.
Limerick oysters.
Limerick oysters.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four limerick oysters, five corpulent porpoises. You can remember everything, honey.
No,
This
I
isn't
can't.
hard for you. Go for it.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Limerick oysters, five, I forget the other one.
Do you wish you had a paper and pencil?
No.
Do you think you're going to need one if I keep testing you on that?
Yes.
Then are you going to wish you had a paper and pencil?
Yes.
Yes. So in the future, what are you going to do when you go to a learning situation?
Bring a paper and pencil.
And keep it with
Me.
you. Did you learn anything?
Yes.
Do you appreciate what you just learned?
Yes.
Did you like the way it was taught?
No.
No. Any of the rest of you ever taught in that fashion? Yeah. Yes. And did you have to express appreciation for it? Yeah.
You see how they said that? She asked, did anybody else ever taught in that fashion? Because I know teachers do that, especially it's to God's people. Let me tell you, we get singled out in these school situations, and you are expected to just be humble and to bow down to the teacher, and they are right, and just go about your business. And that is part of life. The teacher's right. She give you the grades. You got to do what's necessary, no matter how they feel about you, right? Like I've had plenty of teachers discriminate on me. Plenty of teachers treat me badly. I had one time I left an English report at home. I had a teacher named Miss Zakoff. She was so evil to me too. Uh, I left my English report at home. I had my mom bring it up to the school, and my mom made it while I was in class, right at the beginning of class, because I told her before class, so she was already on her way up there. And let me tell you, that lady did not allow me to get any credit because I did not bring it in at the beginning of class. Yeah. Yeah, and then she tried to like make it feel like I was wrong, like people don't make mistakes, like all the effort I had been working on for the last 2 weeks was for no reason because it don't count and there's nothing I could do cuz I should have brought it. Like and you in high school, you playing sports, you doing all these different things, you might forget to leave a paper at home. You in a rush, you trying to get out, you don't want to miss the bus. It's a billion things on your mind. And that's how I was treating. I had to just humble it. Could you imagine if I'd have got mad or upset, flipped the table, or started crying? No, all I could do is sit there and take it and allow that to affect my grade. Let's keep going.
Did you learn something from her example? What are you crying about?
Sorry.
What are you crying about?
My feelings were hurt.
How were your feelings hurt?
Just weird.
Should I feel sorry for?
She said, my feelings are hurt. I'm not trying to laugh at her feelings, but let me tell you, people's feelings get stepped on all day. So it's crazy that she only went through this little bit of drama and she's already breaking down. And some of us, we were going through this in the second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, all the way till we graduated, and some even further beyond that. Like, so let's keep going.
For her?
I don't expect you to.
Should I feel sorry for her? Some of you are thinking, oh, this is too harsh for this young woman. James Byrd, black man in Texas, dragged to death behind a pickup truck by 3 white males. Matthew Shepard, young man about you're a little younger than you are, had the misfortune to be born gay. Beaten with a pistol about the head until they cracked his skull. And then they hung him on a deer fence and left him there overnight. And somebody coming along on a bicycle the next day saw a bunch of clothing hanging on this deer fence, and they went over and started to take the clothing off the deer fence and found a body in the clothing. I'm sorry. But those things happen because we live in a society in which people are allowed to treat those who are different in an ugly way because of their differentness. I cannot shed tears for a young white female in this exercise who knows that this is an exercise, who knows that it's temporary, who knows that she's getting a college credit, 1 hour of credit for being here. I'm sorry. I have to save my sympathy and my empathy for those who go through something much worse than this every day of their lives.
Tears were coming in my eyes. And
For those who go through something like that every day of their life, keep it going.
when I saw these people crying, I'm like, but it wasn't for them. It was for the fact that I know people who are going through that right now while we were sitting in that classroom and had the privilege and the time, the opportunity to be going through an experiment, that there are people outside who go through that 10 times worse than any student of color in that room.
And that's true. So she said tears was coming to her eyes, not because the girl was crying, but the tears was coming to her eyes because she know people going through those same situations, those same exact situations that aren't in the school, and it's not a class, and it's not something that's going to be over in an hour, and something they won't have to deal with once they walk out of those doors. Some people are going through this constantly over and over again throughout the duration of their life without a way to get out of that situation. So if your boss is a little racist, as long as he don't say the N-word and call you a monkey or anything too derogatory, he could get away. Bosses would tend to do a lot of sly jokes, a lot of sly jokes, false beliefs, propaganda, right? Where they be like, black people can't swim, black people love watermelon, all people love watermelon, right? Black people don't love grape pop, which I don't even drink grape pop, but these type of things that they'll try to implement to say, okay, well look, and they'll do it, and it's a joke to them. And like the lady said in the last video, oh, I'm a when have you ever heard I got a blue-eyed friend, like, and she was using it to say, like, when have you ever heard that a white person say they have a black friend? That proves they're not racist, right? So that's all important. Let's hit on this this next section of the video. Let's get it.
White people look vicious and ugly and non-caring and cruel and arrogant and powerful and condescending and angry. Are you angry?
No.
Oh, good for you. You angry?
Trying not to.
Trying not to be. Now, does that take a lot of energy?
Yes.
Yes. Are you holding it in?
Yes.
Yes. And are you trying really, really hard not to react to me?
Yes.
Yes. And are you trying really hard not to look at me?
At the moment, yes.
Yes. Why?
Because I don't want to make myself more upset.
You don't want to make yourself more upset by looking at me.
Yes.
Right. Does that take a lot of time, a lot of energy?
Yes.
Yes. Is that hard for you?
Yes.
Could you develop an ulcer over this?
No.
If you had to do it every day, what would happen to your blood pressure?
It would rise.
Yeah. If somebody stood over you and you knew it was going to happen every day, or you expected it to happen every day, or it happened when you didn't expect it to, or it happened to your kids every day, after it happened to your mother every day. Now, getting right along, your hand is still up. You still didn't learn anything, did you? Didn't I just say when your hand is...
That, you hear that? Could you imagine, let's go back to what she said. Could you imagine this happening to you every day? Happening to your children every day? Happened to your mother before you? That was deep, because that is a lot. She's expressing a lot of what people go through, man.
After it happened to your mother every day? Now, getting... Or it happened to your kids every day? After it happened to your mother every day? Now, two. Or it happened to your kids every day?
It would rise.
Yeah. If somebody stood over you and you knew it was going to happen every day, or you expected it to happen every day, or it happened when you didn't expect it to, or it happened to your kids every day, after it happened to your mother every day. Now, getting right along, your hand is still...
You hear what she said? Or it happened to your kids every day, after it happened to your mom every day. So she's breaking down that this is something what we feel, what we go through as a people, black and brown people in this country. We've been feeling this every day for hundreds of years. They try to act like we were just born, so we should forget. Oh, you don't remember what happened to you, but they don't understand that we still experience it. And the things that we experience, our parents experience. Our children will experience them. Our parents' parents, our grandparents experience them. This has been going on for hundreds of years. So this person's in here for 1 hour, got a 1 hour class. And even with this 1 hour class and how bad she feel and how much she feel like her teacher is going against her, she'll never be able to learn in 1 hour what it's like to live like us for a lifetime. Let's keep going.
Philip, you still didn't learn anything, did you? Didn't I just say when your hand is up, you are thinking of what you're going to say instead of what's being said? Didn't I just say that?
Yes, you did.
And did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
And did you decide that you were just going to do it your way?
I was.
Wait a minute, you were on a roll
yes,
there for
I
a minute.
did.
Thank you very
yes,
much.
Yes, I did.
Now, since you choose to not listen to others, what do you suppose we're going to do where you're concerned?
No, listen to me.
Thank you very much.
May I finish what I was saying,
No,
please?
because you're still thinking of what you're going to say instead of what I'm saying.
She just said that, what do you think we're going to do? And the girl's like, not listen to me. Can I finish what I'm saying? Like, how dumb? You're in college. She literally just explained, like, she's not going to let you finish what you have to say. Let's keep it going. This is crazy.
Now, getting right along.
I heard what you were saying.
You're doing it again.
I understand what you were saying.
You're doing it again.
I don't care.
You're doing it
because
again.
It's wrong.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted her for standing out.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out, and I have to stand back.
Martin Luther King Jr. was.
Oh no, we gotta go back. I'm sorry, y'all. We gotta go back to hear that cry. He said, you persecuted her for standing up. You persecuted me for standing up. We gotta go back.
For standing
You're
out.
Doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out, and I have to stand back.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. Are you in any physical danger here? Are you in any physical danger here? Is that girl in any physical danger here? Emmett Till was hanged by his neck after he was beaten almost to death, simply because he made a statement to a white woman. Every time I do the exercise, there is a point at which I know I have made the point. And we could stop there, but you have to nail it down. And so it goes on longer than some people think it should, but you have to nail it down. People at this institution...
You've made your point, you're right.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is my point that I've made?
That you can't make generalizations about any place because there's racism everywhere.
That's right. And while it may be... No. You don't come back.
You hear how she hit her with the no.
In here until you've apologized to every person in this room, because you just exercised a freedom that none of these people of color have. When these people of color get tired of racism, they can't just walk out, because there's no place in this country where they aren't going to be exposed to racism. They can't even stay in their own homes and not be exposed to racism if they turn on the television. But you, as a white female, when you get tired of being judged and treated unfairly on the basis of your eye color, you can walk out that door, and you know it won't happen out there. You exercised a freedom they don't have. If you're going to be in here, you're going to apologize to every black person in this room. And do it now.
I'm
and
sorry.
The Latinos, every person of color.
Racism, this country.
Bullshit! No, you're not gonna say I'm sorry there's racism.
You see how she tried to deflect like she's not part of the problem? She said, I'm sorry that there's racism in this country. Man, these little spoiled brats. Let's get it.
Bullshit! No, you're not gonna say. And do it now.
I'm
and
sorry.
The Latinos, every person of color.
Racism, this country.
Bullshit! No, you're not gonna say I'm sorry there's racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
I will not apologize because it is not a matter of race always.
Out. You're not gonna say I'm sorry there's race.
She said I will not apologize because it's not a matter of race always. And like literally the lady is trying to teach you what it's like to walk in other people's shoes. This is your actual class lesson is about race. Like crazy.
Racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
I will not apologize because it is not a matter of race always.
Out. Now, is she choosing to leave? Yes. She could apologize and stay.
I won't play the wrong game anymore.
It ain't gonna hurt her. It's not gonna hurt her to apologize.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What's going on in this room alone? Once she leaves it, that's it. It's over with.
Okay? That ain't gonna hurt her.
She leaves it, that's it. It's over with.
Okay.
It's not gonna hurt her to apologize.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
What's going on in this room alone? Once she leaves it, that's it. It's over with.
She said it's not going to hurt her to apologize because it's only going on in this room alone. When she leaves here, it's over. That's it. You see how mad and angry she was, right? And this is Jane Elliott makes this girl cry while speaking about racial discrimination. This is by Unstripped Voice. And what's so crazy is they say there's no such thing as white privilege. Like the lady was just explaining. She would not, we in another situation, so say you're a black guy in a college that might have 3% black people. So there's very few of you in there. And your teachers are giving you a hard time and throwing little racist digs, but not racist enough that you could actually report them and get them in trouble. Just enough to make you feel constantly uncomfortable and discriminated against. What could you do about it? Abandon your college education? No. You could switch classes? Yes. But then what happens when you're in high school and switching classes aren't as available? When all the classes are booked and this is the only class you got. What happened when you switch classes and you get into a teacher that's worse and even more open about, even more open with little discriminatory statements, right? And so this is perfect to show that white privilege does exist. And another thing I want to use this to show is for all of us. I was talking to a brother and we was talking about, and everybody got different things that they go through in life which create the way that they work. So if you've never been around white people that often, maybe you've seen a few in your life, you're not really used to them, maybe through business transactions. And all of your transactions that you've had with them, or most of them are bad, are horribly bad, you're going to have a feeling, a point of view saying that you don't like white people. You don't want to be around them. You don't want to deal with them. That is not a biblical point of view, and that's not something that you should use to hurt or to push off a whole nation. If you feel that way personally, that's fine, but you shouldn't attack your brothers because they don't feel that way. Just like I'm not going to attack you if you personally don't want to deal with a certain people, that's fine. I don't know what your experience with those people are, but you shouldn't attack me, which I get a lot in the chat, for saying that I care or would care or have love for or don't hate the Gentiles, right? And this is a clear reason, because sometimes you get Gentiles like her. Through our whole existence here, through every time we've done, God has given us the Spirit to do something that made a major change. Some of them had roles in helping us accomplish those changes, right? So you got this lady who's literally punishing her own people in order to give them an eye view of what it would feel like to be us, even if it's for an hour or for one semester or for however short the time period is. It finally gives them an understanding of the privilege they have. Because there's a lot of white people who say, white privilege, I don't know what white privilege is. If there was white privilege, show me it. Listen, if you're going to be an asshole, excuse my language, if you're going to be a butthole and get all tattooed up and join a gang and do stupid stuff, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, of course you're going to get treated bad. You're not going to get treated as bad as us, right? Because it's not like you're going to get put over for driving while white. You see? So regardless of if you're saying, well, I didn't have white privilege, that's your lack of ignorance of, that's their lack of ignorance of white privilege. So she's showing these kids their white privilege. But when people say they don't have it, it's a lack of knowing their white privilege. You don't get put over while white. You don't, I mean, you get put over while white, but you don't get put over because you're white. Like driving while white is not an offense where they will pull you over. While in certain areas, driving while black is. Walking down a certain street while white is not an offense, but certain areas, walking down the street while black is an offense. You understand? You can go in the store and you have a more viable opportunity of getting into that store and stealing. Because white people act like, Gentiles act like black people are the ones who steal the most. So that's not true. That is not true. But what happens is, a black person comes into the store, he's automatically a suspect for stealing. So if you are a thief, most likely they recognize you were a thief when you first came in the store. You might find that every now and again with a few white European people, white people, because they're dope heads or drug addicts, and you could clearly tell, or maybe they have an odor, that overbearing odor about them or something. But for the most part, if they come in looking like they just got out of a job at an office, you would know. You would think that buggy they got is the buggy they about to purchase, and then they would just run out the store and nobody would do nothing, right? So it's important that they understand their privileges. It's important that they understand that their privileges, that you cannot be singled out based upon your color. If you act bad, you get singled out based upon your actions, but that doesn't always happen to everybody. Some people literally only get singled out because of their color, and constantly. And like the lady was saying, this is something that's happened to people's grandparents. This is something that went down to their parents. This is something that they have dealt with their entire lives, and now they're watching their children have to go through it, right? So to prove part of this, we're going into Joshua 2. We're going to be talking about Rahab, right? Welcomes the spies, right? So let's get into it. It says, and Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land of Jericho, right? A city in Jordan, a valley captured by Joshua, right? So we know Jordan is currently right now filled with Arabs. But at this point in time, it was actually filled with Hamites, right? So let's keep going. And they went and came into the harlot's house, right? So Rahab was a harlot, right? Rahab was a harlot, right? Rahab, right? It says, into the harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told to the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came man in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho, right? So it says they came man hither tonight. So they came here tonight to search this country, right? From Israel to search this country, right? It says, and the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, the harlot of Jericho, right? Saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they have become to search out all the country. So they come and spy on us, right? And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came unto me. It says, there came man unto me, but I wist not which they were. So like, I don't know where they are. And when it came to pass about that time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out, whether the men went, I wot not. It says, pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of her house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the man pursued after them the way of Jordan unto the fords, right? And the man pursued after them the way of Jordan, right? So they went after them in Jordan unto the fords, right? And as soon as they, which were pursued, right? So when they were chased or sought after them were gone out, they shut the gate, right? So after they went after the people, they shut the gate down, right? And it says, And before they were laid down, she came up upon the roof, and she said unto the man, I know that the Lord have given you the land, right? So she said, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us. So it's about to get bad for us, right? And that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you, right? To melt. So they melt, and they burning up. They having a getting a fever because of this, right? Because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, right? So they heard about the stories of them leaving Egypt. And when ye came out of Egypt, and that what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites, right? So remember, I'm gonna have to do more research, but I do believe, so she's saying that what they did unto the two kings of the Amorites, and that were on the other side of Jordan, Sheol and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed, right? So they were going through getting the people of Canaan out of the land that God was to give them, right? Out of the land of Israel, getting the Hamites out. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt, right? Their hearts dissolved. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. So it's like none of the people, their hearts melted. They didn't have the heart no longer to fight, is what that's saying, right? They didn't have any more courage in any of the men, and the men are the ones who fight wars, right? It says, because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above. So like, and in earth beneath. So she's actually giving recognition to their God as well, right? It says, now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, right? Because she know that they believe in the Most High God, that their God is the Most High God, right? Since I have showed you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house, right? And give me a true token, and that ye will save alive my father, and my mother, and my brethren, and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death, right? So this is a Gentile. She's on the side of Israel against her own people. And she like, look, I need you to save my whole family, please, for what I did, right? And the man answered her, our life for yours. If ye utter not this our business, and it shall be, right? So it's not like if you don't tell nobody our business, it's gonna happen. What you saying we gonna do, right? And it shall be when the Lord hath given us the land that we will deal kindly and truly with them, right? Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourself there 3 days until the pursuers be returned, and afterwards ye may go your way. And the man said unto her, we will be blameless of this thine oath, right? So we gonna have to follow through with this oath, right? Which thou hast made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window, which thou didst let us down by. And thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren in all thy father's household. So bring your whole entire family, all your father's people, right? Home unto thee. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head. So if they leave your house, remember, this on your head, right? And we will be guiltless. So that won't fall on us, blameless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head if any hand be upon them. So if they stay in the house and anybody get touched, that's going to be on our hand. And we're going to have to pay a consequence for that, right? And if thou utter this, our business, then it says, if thou utter this, our business, right? Then we will be quit, right? Blameless. So they're going to have to keep the oath. It says, then we will be quit of thine oath, which thou hast made us to swear. So as long as you don't utter our business, as long as you keep this between me and you, we going to have to keep the oath that we told you. And she said, according unto your word, so be it. And she went them away, and they departed, and she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came into the mountain and abode 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but they found them not. So the man returned and descended from the mountains and passed over, and it came to Joshua, the son of Nun, and he told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly the Lord has delivered into our hands all the land, for even all the inhabitants of this country do faint because of us, right? So the reason I went into this, because there's a lot of brothers who, regardless of the people who are putting in work on our behalf, who care about us and are fighting, when they don't have to fight for our behalf, a lot of brothers would still say that according to the Bible, we can't help them or deal with them or help them out because they're Gentiles. We can't love them or care for them. Now, I agree. We love our people first, just like you would love your family first. The Bible says if the house ain't together, right? So if your house ain't together, and that wasn't talking about economically, I was talking about lawfully. If your house is in order lawfully, then you'll have the ability to go and minister to other people, because your body head, your family figure is in order. But if your house is not in order lawfully, you're not able to go and minister to the people. You're not able to, how you going to tell people to be lawfully if you can't get your house in order lawfully, right? So I get that. We go to our people first. We make sure we good first, right? We make sure we get the law first. We make sure everything about us is first. But we can't discount the people who have been working either in tandem with us to help us move the sticks ahead, or not in tandem with us, but on our behalf, even without us. We can't discount that there are people who've been fighting on our side, and discount these people like they're not doing anything and they're not fighting on their side. There are. So like I said, I understand people's situations. I understand that there's some people who never really grew up around Gentiles, don't really like them at all, and have only had bad experiences. That's fine, but those people also got to understand that there's people who've had all bad experiences with Judea or with Ephraim or with Issachar. Their own people have always been the worst to them. And maybe they found peace or solitude, or a person who actually cared and loved them, not just in word, but in deed and action, from the Gentile, who was putting in the work on their behalf. And maybe those are the people they knew their whole life. So don't use any type of scriptures to say that these people are wrong, because then you don't understand love, you don't understand mercy, and you really don't understand the scriptures. Because from the beginning of scriptures, we've been helping Gentiles. Like the Idumeans would have never, King Herod was the king of Judea. He'd have never been the king during Christ's birth if we wouldn't have conquered Idumea 2,000 years before. It wasn't us conquering Idumea that was the issue, right? Because if you go through 2 Kings, we were supposed to do that. We left Jerusalem, we left from Persian captivity, we rebuilt the temple, and we had to go to war with Idumea. And we conquered a part of them and converted them into our beliefs. That was partly what we were supposed to do, based upon the things that had played out. It wasn't unlawful for them to do that. The unlawful came is when they let them come in. They let Esau and them come in, and then by the time 2,000 years later, by the time Christ is being born, you got King Herod, which is a Edomite, Idumean, right? King Herod is an Idumean. So now you got the Gentiles who went highly, who were raised into a higher position over our people within the same situation. We're the same people. So now it should make sense with me breaking this down, God willing. Hopefully I'm not losing y'all, but hopefully this makes sense of why King Herod which was the king of Judea, why the king of Judea was trying to persecute the prophet, the prophesied child, man child, that was supposed to save Judea. So if you're the king of a people, why would you want to kill the person who's supposed to save your people? See, and if people let that click into their head, they'll do the research and find out that that king was an Idumean. He was an Edomite. And that's why that happened. So that also proves that we have brought people into the fold, but we did the wrong things. The Bible never says that they could come in and have authority over us or any type of positions or anything like that. But it never says that we can't bring them into the fold as long as they want to worship the Most High God. So this has been quite a long video. And with that note, on that note, I'm gonna say thanks for tuning in again. If y'all liked the video or if you didn't like it, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Let's talk about this. I know it's going to be a lot of haters talking about that Isu loving Jake. So that's fine. Let the haters come. Let's talk about this. If y'all understand what I was getting at, if y'all understand where I'm going at with this, like, I'm not punishing people for not liking Gentiles. I'm not getting, if you don't have experience with them, or you just have had bad experiences with them and you don't personally like them based on your experience, that's your experience. That's personal. I'm saying that it's improper to teach as a people that we should hate these whole people, right? And with that note, I just want to say Thawada. That means thank you. Kaula Ahaya by Shem Yeshaya. That's all praises to the Most High Ahaya in the name of his Son. And all praises to the Most High in the name of his Son, our Savior. And I want to say Barakatah. Bless you all. Bless you. And peaceful greetings. Shalom to everybody for watching. Barakatah. Barakatah. All right. With that note, peace. Peace out.